Good evening, YouTube. Tonight what I'm going to show you is how to make a bandolier with whole brass components. And we're going to do this using a scrap belt. I picked these off of Marketplace. I needed the belt buckles, not the belts themselves. I didn't want them to go to waste, so here I am. I'm going to make a cool little bandolier out of using one or two of these scrap belts. And I'll show you how to do it. It's really simple with only a few basic leather working tools. I'll show you basically what a finished product looks like. This is one I made out of one of the scrap belts here. So the belt itself was made out of tooling leather. However, the little brass component loops here, those are made using a scrap belt. So I'll show you how you can do this. Alright, so the tools you'll need. First off, you'll need a punch of some sort. So I'll show you two methods you can do this. The first one, you can use just a straight rectangular punch. The biggest one, closest to the diameter of the belt, you're going to use for your brass components. Also a regular hole punch as well. You'll need a rivet setting set as well as brass rivets, whatever colors you want to use that are at the correct depth. To make things a little bit easier, I bought this little piece of kit. It's been a game changer. Bring it over here so you can take a look at it. Got this off of Amazon a few months ago. It's just a press. So you put up whatever tools you need in here, put your work down here. Works just like a drill press, pull down on it. You can punch holes, set rivets. This thing has just been a beauty. And it really helps out too, because the old method of doing it is you have your rivet setters with a hammer, and you hammer in your rivets or you hammer in the holes, and it gets quite loud. And if you live in an apartment or you don't live by yourself, wake my daughter up every time I want to do some leather work. So this has really quieted things down, made peace in my house. So I'll get started here. Alright, so step one, first thing you're going to do is pick what belt you want. So this one here came in the bunch I got off of Amazon. It's perfect. It's nice and wide, so I can put a thinner belt on the inside to be the loops. So this will be my base. Next, I got to choose one of these for the projectiles. Let's do something cool. Let's do a cool design. I like the look of this one. Let's do this. That would look pretty cool. Alright. Get rid of these other ones here. Alright, so it's going to go on something like this. It's your basic layout. Excellent. So next, you want to decide where you want it to start and where you want it to end. So this one has a buckle on it. It starts right about here. So I don't want my loop going any further than here, in case I want to go either tighter or looser. So what I'm going to do, I do like the look of that end piece there, so I'm going to keep that. It's nice and thick too, so I'm going to put a rivet through, it won't break off. If I put a rivet through here, it will break through. So I'm going to start it right here. That'll be my starting point. So I'm going to take my little owl here. I'll just leave a little mark. That's where I'll have my starting point. Excellent. Alright, so we have our starting point there. Now we'll go to our end point. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically cutting off the material that I want to use to hold my brass components. However, I don't want to cut it too short because it's going to be weaving in and out of the belt. So I want to make it just a little bit longer. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this end piece off right here just so I can easily fit it through. So we'll do that. Stand by. Another couple tools I forgot to mention, very critical, is a ruler or some sort of straight edge, as well as some sort of utility knife or something with a razor blade. So what I'm going to do is go to the end here, because I won't be able to pass this thing through, and cut it off here. Try to get a straight line. Next, I'll discard this piece, and then feeding it through the slots. I'll just give a slight angle here. Do the trick. Excellent. So now this is tapered, so we'll be able to feed through the belt. So next step, we're going to start punching our holes into the main belt. Stand by. Okay, so now it's time to start punching holes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my first hole in, and then I'm going to secure whatever the inner belt that's going to be used to hold the brass components. I'm going to take my hole punch, and I'm going to line it up at that mark there where I want it to go through. Once I have my hole, I'm going to push this through to the back, and I'm going to put a rivet in there so this holds in. So I'll show you how to do that right quick. Alright, so now you guys can see my press. I have my hole punch. I have my mark on the belt right here that I want to line it up at. Just like that old carpentry rule where you measure once, cut twice. There you go. Punch a hole through. Now this is some thick velvet. There you go. There you go. Not perfect, but this is where you can rely on your hole punch to either open it or close it up. Now it's a pretty wide belt, so I'm going to have to open it up a little bit. So I'm going to punch a little bit further up here. All good. That's what I like about leatherwork. You make little tiny mistakes like this, but at the end product, you'd never know the difference. Excellent. So there you go. Opened it up a little bit there. Perfect. I'll show you the next step now. Alright, we're back at the workbench here. Here you can see the hole that I put through using 2 motions of the press. So now I'm going to feed my inner belt through. See, it's still a little tight there. See, that's all good. We can use our handy dandy hole punch here. Just go in the biggest setting. You just open up the end of that hole a little bit. Just put half of the hole punch on there. That should open it up enough. Then you have a rough idea of what you have to do for each hole now. Just a little bit more. I'd rather take off a little bit too little than too much. This is going to be cool though. It's going to look even right down the center. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. Excellent. See, now it feeds through the back. So I really didn't want to obstruct this last part here, but that's no big deal. It's going to be a bandolier, so we're going to be at the biggest setting most of the time anyway, so it's all good. So what I'm going to do is I'll try to pull this back so it is basically a beam, these 2 holes right here. There we go, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a rivet right in the center. I'm going to put 1 for now because I don't intend on using this heavy duty, but if you're going to do this yourself, you can put 2 rivets in, put 2 rivets and sew, or you can just sew, whatever you want to do. It's the beautiful thing about leatherwork. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my awl, I'm going to mark roughly a center point. looks about right. I'm trying to punch all the way through. It might be a tall order with these thick belts though. Might catch me with an injury here real quick. Just be real careful when you try this. Marks on both of them. Yeah, I got marks on both of them, so that's good. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a regular hole punch here, and just punch a hole right through there. So what I want to do is grab my hole punch, find out how long of a rivet I need. This is relatively thick leather, so I'll probably need the biggest one. So basically, put on the top, see the depth. Yeah, I need the biggest one. I like this dull brass look, so I'll use that. So next thing I'm going to do, grab my hole punch. See what size I need. Nah, this one does the trick right there. Excellent. Next, punch the hole. This is some pretty thick leather, so I'll take everything I got. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Oh, look at that. There's our hole. Got this one here. Excellent. There we go. It's relatively centered. So what I'll do is I'll line it up. Pass the one rivet through. It's going to look pretty good. I'll get the rivet setter set up here and show you how it works. Alright, so what I have here now is a rivet setting kit. So when you order rivets, especially off Amazon or even Tandy or any other kind of leather supply company, you'll get various kinds of bases you can use. I like this kit here. It comes with everything I need for all different types of rivets and snaps and buttons, and also came with this little base right here, so you can use different sizes. It's perfect. But you know, this will do the trick here. Same thing with this one for both sides. But when I first started, I'd use the back end of an axe. So I mean, whatever metal piece you can, technically you can use. It's just it looks prettier when you have a nice piece of kit like this. So for one of the back pieces, so for the rivet, you have the main piece. And you also have the part that snaps on the other side. Basically, you want to clamp both of these together. So put one side here, put your work through it, and you grab one of these concave drivers, see, like that, and then put it on top, hammer it down. Again, I'm not going to use the hammer. I'm just going to use my press here. So I'll set this up and I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so I'm set up on the press here. I'm just going to get all my tools set up. So I have my belt. I'm going to pass the rivet through the holes. Like that. And I got my rivet cap on the top there. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to flip this, so I want the visible one to be a little, in case I add a little bit too much torque, I want the one that's not visible to be the one that doesn't look as good. So I'm going to do what one of my old bosses always told me, just hide the ugly. That's what I'm doing. So there we go, it's set up. Little block there, and my concave side right here. And I'm just going to drive that down. Just go nice and gentle with it. What do we have? Look at that. We have a set rivet. Nice and strong. Excellent. Get the camera set up back on my workbench. Before I get started punching holes here, I just want to show you an alternate technique in case you don't have a press of some sort. So I used to use as well my drill press, but I ruined it because on your desk-mounted drill presses, they're not. I don't know. I just had like a Home Hardware brand or something, just a store brand one, and the base like broke through like really quick, like before I even finished a project. This one I got off Amazon is meant for this. It's decent. All right. So in the event you don't have this press and you don't have your little nice hole punches here, there is an alternate way to do this. It's a little more time consuming, but you can save money and tools, and this is what honestly the way I used to do it when I first started anyways. It's like anything else. You become a mechanic, you start with your crappy tools, eventually you get better and better tools. Same thing with leatherworking. Your tools get better and better over time. See what works for you, see what doesn't. So grab your hole punch, put it on the biggest setting. I'm just doing the biggest setting just because the inner belt here is relatively big. Use whatever you need. Basically what you're going to do, you're going to put one hole at the top, one hole at the bottom. After that, you'll put your straight edge over the holes on both sides and cut at both sides with a utility knife or razor blade. Push it through, you'll have the exact same result. So I'll just demonstrate that real quick. So put one right about here. Some thick leather. And I'll put another one on the other side here. Make sure it's relatively even. Yeah, good enough. Alright. So I'm just going to grab my straight edge, my knife. That over. That's off a little bit, that's okay. And just start at one hole on one side, cut down, and then do it on the other side as well. Once you got your pilot lines there, go down. Keep working your way. This is really thick leather, so just take a few passes from both sides. So block the camera here for you, so just flip it around. There you go. Look at that. Exact same size as the one we made before. Let's see if it passes through. Alright, got that. Beautiful. Like that. Then I'll get out my brass components and we'll size it in. So then I'll make my next hole, pass it around through brass component. Keep tightening as I go down until I get to the very end, and then once I do that, I'll do the exact same things I did with this to finish it off, and then you'll have your bandolier. So I'm going to get working here, and I'll be back with you shortly. Alright y'all, there we have it. It took me about an hour to punch out all those holes and pass it through, but we have room for 23 brass components on this bandolier. So it's very cowboyish. You could use it for any kind of sort of cowboy action sport, or just use it as, take it to the range with you, or use it hunting, or just have it as hanging up as a showpiece in your workshop or something. Anyways, made this completely with the used belt, saved it from the scrap yard, the dump. So feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, if you want to see any other projects or anything like that, and y'all have a great day.